Glad you could all join us here. We're in the wood shop now, so I guess we'll start our tour with how things begin here. Okay. The whole back section of the shop here is just for processing wood. Some wood comes in lumber form. Some wood comes in billet sizes, like what you see in front of you, or hard rock maple for necks. You see alder body sets that are two-piece sets ready to be glued together. You see some mahogany neck blanks over here. There's some swamp ash in the corner. Basically the wood comes into us, has been dried, but is not as dry as we need it to be to make guitars. So this white table over here is actually a kiln for drying wood. So we load up this inside with wood, and it's temperature controlled so that it takes the moisture out of the wood. You can see this little pan here, there's a little bit of water in it. That's water that the kiln has pulled out of the wood. It'll hold about 50 guitars worth of wood, and we'll pull 8 to 10 liters of water out of wood that has already been considered dry. So that's how it starts. The rest of the machinery all around us back here is just for gluing and getting pieces of wood down to usable sizes for guitars. Over here you can see there's mahogany for bodies, mahogany for necks, chocolate maple, which is the same hard rock maple, but it's gone through a temperature heating process, and it actually turns the wood a darker brown all the way through. It's not a staining process, it's actually through and through. These are some necks we're working on right now that are just ready for fingerboard lamination. These are wood waiting to be split into fingerboards, and these are rosewood fingerboards that are already ready to use. Over here, this is kind of a storage rack for, these are all maple tops, rosewood tops, koa tops for future use. These here are maple tops that have already been laminated together and are ready for use. You can see quilted maple. The darkness you see here is just slight burns from the thickness sander that will be sanded off when it's ready to use. These are all quilted maple. You can see the beautiful pattern in the wood. This pile is all flame maple or curly maple. It's more of a striped pattern, as you can see. So these are just different patterns we use to lay out the wood to take best advantage of its grain. Things like that. We just lay them on the wood.
Standard shapes.
Yeah, regular shapes. So these are tops that we've decided what guitar it's going to be, what color it's going to be. And then to bend the top, we put these grooves in the back side to make it more flexible so that it can bend. And it will be laminated onto a blank like this. When the edge is cut, these grooves won't show. So this is a blank that's ready for machining. It's already got backwood on it, top contour is there. It's laid out so it'll tell us what it is. Okay, so once those pieces are these are bodies, the cutting of the bodies.
Come on, it's okay.
The cutting of the bodies all happens on these two machines here. And so that blank would go on as a rectangle, and we would cut all these different cavities, and then it would do a tracing of the outside shape. Then we would bandsaw the outside shape, Then we move this back on the machine this way, and it will trim this, do all the different cutting you see here. And from here, all the sanding and shaping is done by hand over on these stations. But we use these machines because they can very accurately cut all these precise cavities so that alignment is perfect, so that string height and neck angle are perfectly controlled. So these are the bodies. The guitars we're going to make this week are right here, or next, in a few weeks. But the bodies we're making this week are right here. The necks go through a similar process, except there's a lot more steps in a neck. This is a finished neck, as you see coming off the machine.
Ready for painting?
No.
No. Ah, no. Okay. Yes.
This is all machined, but not sanded. So the necks will sit in this condition for 1 month, because when you take a flat board and you do all this machining, the wood stress relieves. It's not settled yet. So we let it sit in this condition so it can settle. Then we come back and redo this surface so that it's perfectly straight before we put it to frets. That's the condition that these are in. They're still rough machined back here, but this surface was made perfect and the frets were installed. And now they're going to sand all the back surfaces to get them ready for finish. And those will go through a series of sanding here on these machines. Over here, sanding by hand. So they go through the painting process together. So these necks have been matched with the body. They're all finished sanded now. You can see the difference from what they looked before. They get a number. We start new numbers every year in January. So this is number 17. It tells what color it's going to be and whether the finish is going to be on the back or just the headstock. So this is a finished body, ready for finish. It's all sanded from the way you saw it before. Very smooth everywhere. Has a number in it, and that number will correspond and go through the finished process. This is a solid alder body, so it's going to be a solid color. This is one of our bulldog bodies, so it's got a flame maple carved top. This will get stained before the finish process.